Hello guys, so welcome back to my channel. In today's video we'll be looking at the 0x01 share permission. Now in this video I've decided to break it into two parts. The first is that there is a Google form at the description of this video. There's a link there, so if you just want to do the task, you will just go straight to the link, click on the link, and you have all the answers there from the first task to the last task. But if you want to stay and learn the concept, which I will advise you do, simply stay put and follow through the tutorial. You are going to learn a lot today. I'm going to show you how to give permissions, how to understand files permission, how to know which file has read, write, and execute permissions, which file is for the user, which file is for the group owner, which file is for others, and how to denote whether this is a file or this is a directory when you see them by mainly looking at the file. Okay, and then I'm also going to teach us how to calculate our Octal notation and how to use the direct and UGO to give permissions in your file. So I bet you want to stick around and learn this concept for yourself, knowing that the goal of ALS is not just to pass the task but also to learn. Okay, so I want us to stay put, go through this video, and then if you find it helpful, kindly do share, leave a comment and then give us a thumbs up. Okay, so let's dive into the task for today. So like I say, the answers to all the questions for the share permission are in a Google form. So click the link where it says Google form link, click the link, and you're going to have all the answers. They will put down all the answers there for you. Now for each of the answer, you're going to start with the first line is going to start with the share band, that is the #bin bash, and then you put in your answer there. Okay, it's very simple, very straightforward. And then once you do that, always make sure you change mode. Okay, you give execution. So let's go ahead and dive in. So now I want us to start with looking at these files. So I'm just going to do ls-l. So we have these two files here, and looking at these two files, you can see that we have from here we have d-row. Let me zoom in a bit. d-row x arrow, and then dash x arrow dash x. Okay, and then we have we have root 80, and then we have this, and then the name of the file. And same here, you can also see all this. So let me explain what all this mean. Okay, now for wherever you see this D starting, a file that starts with this D, know that that file is a directory. That file is a directory. And whenever you see this hyphen, the dash sign, know that this is a regular file, a normal file. All right, if it's a D, then it is a directory. If it's a dash or hyphen, then it is a regular file. Now pay attention please. When you see this arrow WX, this arrow stands for read, DW stands for write, and this X stands for execute. So arrow WS, arrow -S, and arrow -S. So each of these three represents something. So the first three characters is for the owner of the group, the owner of the file, sorry, or the directory. So it is denoted with the letter U, the owner. So arrow WS, the first one is for the owner. Arrow -X, the second one is for the group, and arrow -X, the third one is for others. So what is the owner? So the owner is actually the person that has the file, that have the direct access to this file. The group owner is the person that the owner of the file will give access to and say, okay, let me give you some permission to take charge of these files. And then the last one, the last three, is for other users, every other person that might come in contact with this file. Okay, now the 4 here after the permission, the 4 here is the number of files inside this directory. So if we open this directory, that means we'll have 4 files inside this directory. Then the root is the name of the owner of the file, and then this root is the name of the group owner of the file, and then this is the byte, the number of bytes that this directory is presently occupying in our system is 80 bytes, and then the date that it was modified last, July 23rd, and then the name of the file. Now if you come down to this, like I said, this is a regular file. You have ROW and hyphen, so that means for this particular file, the owner has read and write permission but does not have execution permission. The group owner have only read permission, does not have write permission, does not have execution permission. And then the others have only read permission, no write permission, no execution permission. All right. So read as it stands is just to read, to be able to read a file. You can't do anything inside the file. Write is that you are able to edit this file, and then execute, which is denoted by X, is that you can give permission to other users on this file. So for instance, if you are the owner of a file, you want to have the read, the write, and execute permission of your file. All right. But for others, you can decide which permission to give to them, either to give them read-only permission, or read and execute permission, or read and write permission, and then anyhow you want to give them permission. Okay, so but the owner of the group of the file or directory can have all the permission, which is the read, the write, and the execute permission. Okay, I hope that is clear. So let's see that we have 4 files inside this directory. So I'm just going to do I'll just cd into this directory just to show us, enter, and then ls to see that we have 4 files. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so let's clear that. So ls-l again. Now, like I said before, I am going to take us through the process of calculating and knowing how to give permissions. Okay, so please just stay with me. All right, now I'm going to pick out my paints here, and I will bring it just down here. Okay, so we have characters or symbols we use in giving permission. Okay, so the first thing I want you to know is that there is something called the equals to, there's something called the minus, and then called the plus sign. All right, the equals to, the minus, and the plus sign. And then to give permission, we're going to be using this command, change mode, which is denoted by chmod. Okay, change mode. Now, like I say, for the first, so let's do this. Let's say this is a regular file. Okay, so for the regular file, we're going to have read, write, and execute permission. Okay, so this is for the owner, so let's denote it with you. It's always denoted by you. And then we have the next one. Let's say we have dash, sorry, let me clean this. Okay, so dash and write and dash. So this is for the group owner, so denoted by the letter G, and then let's just give this read only permission, the write and execute 0. So this is for others. So like I say, the U is for the owner of the file, the G is for the group owner, and O is for other users of this file. Okay, so like I said before, for you to give permission, you use the command, this command, which is change mode, chmod, change mode. Now let's say we want to give permission for this file now. All right, now already you see that we have for the user, for the owner, they has all the permission, the write, the read, the write, and execute permission. For the group owner, no read permission, write permission, and no execute permission. And then for the other users, we have read permission, and then every other permission is not granted. Okay. Now, if I want to give access for the others to be able to write and execute this file, or let's say to be able to write this file, what command am I going to use? I'm going to use, now remember that the others are denoted by O, so I'm going to use the command O, and then with the symbol plus, because I want to give permission, so I'm going to use plus, and then I want to give write permission, and I'm going to write W, and then after that I will write the name of the file. So let's assume that the name of the file is bash, so space the name of the file. Okay, so by the time I do this, I have given the others write permission. So here will no longer be dash, is going to be W now. All right, because now I've given others the right permission with this command. All right, change mode 0, which is for others, plus W, and then define name. So same thing, if I want to give the group permission to execute, it will be G plus W. Sorry, G plus X for execution. G plus X for execution. All right. So that is how you can give permissions using the change mode command, and then with the denotion of either the user, either the owner, the group, or others. Okay, and then the permission you want to give them, either read, write, or execute permission. I hope this is clear though. Now, same way, if you want to remove permission, you want to remove permission from either the owner, the group, or others, you can also do it by using this. So let's say we are going to remove the write permission from the group. So we denote that by G, and we say minus, which is write W, and then space the name of the file. All right, space the name of the file. So this will remove the write permission from the group. So once that is done, the group will no longer have the write permission again. So everything here is going to be dash, dash, dash. Okay, so let's say we want to remove permission from let's say we want to remove permission from everybody, the owner, the group, and the others. How do we do that? So I guess you will guess right by now. So change mode, and then we're going to say user, group, and owners. We're going to use the minus sign, and then we say arrow WX. All right, so when we do this, it's going to look, the permission is going to look somewhat like this: hyphen, hyphen, hyphen for owner, hyphen, hyphen, hyphen for group, and then hyphen, hyphen, hyphen for others. Same way, if we want to give permission for everybody to have read, write, and execute permission, we use the same UGO plus read, write, and execute. And when you do this, the permission, you should guess right already, is going to be read, write, and execute for user, read, write, and execute for group owner, and then read, write, and execute for others. Okay, so this is how you can give permission and you can remove permission from owners and to owners, or to any of the groups. Okay, another thing we want to look at is the equal sign. So you can also assign assign permission to either the group owner or the group or others using the equals sign. Okay, using the equal sign, you can also do that. And how do you do that? Is very simple. You are just going to add the equals to where you have the plus or the minus. For instance, let's say we want to give permission to the owner and the group for read and write, read and execute. So we'll just say change mode, and then we say the owner and the group, which is denoted by U and G. Okay, and we say equals to, without space, equals to read and execute. So by doing this and then adding the name of the file, so bash, we have given the owner and the group access to read and execute this file. Okay, we can also combine this by saying user, owner and the group equals to read and execute. Without space, we can say comma, others, we can give them only read permission. We don't want others to execute. We can give them only read permission, and then we can give the name of the file, which is bash, space and bash. So here, user and group with the equal sign have read and execute permission, comma, others, without space, just comma, others have only read permission, and then the file name, which is bash. Okay, so this is how you can give permission to files. Okay, this is how you can give permission, but always make sure to use the change mode. So the change mode will help you to know the permission you are giving. Now let me ask us a question that I want to see in the comment section. Okay, just to be sure that we already get this. So let me ask us a question. How do you give permission to, so this is what I am going to write. So let's say this is the file. Okay, and then we'll have this, and we have this, and then we'll have this. Okay, so now I want you to write a command that will give the group. So I'm sure you know where the group is right now. So write a command that will give the group execute permission, and then write another command that will give others write permission. Write a command, question 1, a command that will give the group read permission. Let me write this. So write a command that will give the group execute permission, and then the second one is write a command that will give others write permission. Okay, so do that and let me know. Write a command that will give others rights permission, and also write a command that will give the group execute permission. Put that in the comment section. Let me see. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at our Octal notation. So there's also something called the Octal notation. Before I go to Octal notation, let's do something. Okay, let's try to do something here. This guy is okay, so let me just pick let me try to pick another SANDBOX. Oh, before then, let's still use this so we don't waste too much time, and then we just look at it together. All right, so there's something called the Octal notation. All right, Octal notation in giving permission. So now you can either use the regular notation of using the GUO plus arrow WX, which is saying give user, give owner, group, and others read write permission. So everybody have all the permission. This is the regular way of giving permission. Then there's the Octal notation that will also say that you should give user, group, and others read write permission. Okay, so when you see this also represents something like this. So this is saying that you are giving user and owner, group, and others read write permission, and this is saying the same thing. You are giving owner, group, and others read write permission. So let's see how this works, and whichever one comes handy, you can always use that. And just in case you find yourself in a situation where you only see this, you should also know that, okay, this is what it means, all right, as a software engineer, because you're going to be seeing this as you progress. So let's clean this up. Okay, now we're going to write a file again. So let's say we have this file which says D, like I said, D stands for directory. Okay, D, and then we'll have read, write, and execute. Sorry, let me shift this down a bit. So D, and then we'll have read, write, and execute. Okay, so we denote this with U. Okay, and then for the group we have read, no write, and then we have execution permission. So this is for the group. And then for others, we have read, no write, and then we'll have execution permission also. Okay. And this is for others. All right. Now, anywhere you see that, so before I even say that, so this you should know is actually denoted in bytes, okay, in machine language. So what that means is that it's denoted in zeros and one, zeros and one, zeros and one, meaning that if the permission is present, it's going to be denoted by 1. If the permission is absent, it's going to be denoted by 0. If it's present, is 1. Present is 1. Permission is absent is 0. Permission is present is 1. Is present is 1, 1, and 1. Okay, so that is how it's denoted in machine language. So is in bytes. So 1, 1 if it's present, and if nothing is there, if there's no permission, is denoted by 0. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now, this is now in binary. For us to convert this to decimal, for us to be able to use the permission in decimal to denote our permission, we're going to be doing a simple calculation so that when you see it, you know why that comes about. okay, so that you know how that comes out. So we're going to convert it from binary to decimal. Okay, now since it's in binary, we're going to be using 2 2 2. All right, and then we just give them access. Okay, so 0 1 2, since you have just 3. Now anywhere you see that is present, we're going to be denoting that by 1, and if it's not present, we'll denote that by 0. Okay, so this is 1 for this. So let's start from this. So there is execute permission, so it's 1. There's write permission and there's read permission, so it's 1 and 1. Okay, so if we add this together, so 2 raised to the power of 0 is 1, 2 raised to the power of 1 is 2, and 2 raised to the power of 2 is 4. So this is 4 plus 2 plus 1, which is equals 7. Okay, so for this, the user permission is equals to 7. So let's write our u here is equals to 7. Now let's go to this same thing, 2 2 and 2, because it's in binary. For us to convert it to decimal, so 0 1 2. Now let's go. So there is, sorry, this is supposed to be x, not w. This is supposed to be execute, yeah. All right, so now there's execute permission, so is denoted by 1. There is no write permission, is denoted by 0, and then there is read permission is denoted by 1. So let's calculate. So 2 raised to the power of 0 is 1. Now here is raised to the power of 0, so nothing is there. We'll skip that because we don't have any permission here. Is 0. There's nothing in this byte. All right, so it's 0. And then 2 raised to the power of 2 is 4. So this is 4 plus 1, which is equals to 5. So for the group is equals to 5. And then let's look at others. So for others, 2 2 2, and then 0 1 2 to convert to decimal. And here execute, we have 1, write 0, read, we have 1. So this is 2 raised to the power of this is 1, this is 0 because nothing is here, no byte, and this is 4. So this is equals to 5. So for others is equals to 5. So that means the permission for this file in Octal notation is 7 5 and 5. So 7 5 5. So you can either denote this with arrow WX or 7, and then you can either denote this with arrow -X or 5 and arrow -F(X) or 5. So meaning that you can either give the permission like this, or you can give the permission like this, and it will still work. Okay, so that is what I wanted to show us, so that you can understand when you see these files, you know that okay, this is how it's been done. I hope this calculation is clear. I hope we've learned something from here. So now let's do something else. Please pay attention. Now let's say we have this. We have this D, and then we have read, write, and execute, read, write, and execute, read, write, and execute. Okay, so here for others, here for group, here for owner, and then this is the file, which is directory. All right, it's telling us that it's a directory. So if it's a regular file, it's an hyphen. Now, here, if we are to calculate this, of course, since it's denoted by bytes, so everything is present. Everything is present. None is zero, because the read permission, the write permission, the execute permission is present in all of them. Okay, so that means if we're going to do a calculation, this is going to be in binary form to convert to decimal. Okay, 1 and 2, and then for the group or for the user, the owner is going to be 1 1 1. Okay, and that means it's going to be 1 2 and 4. Sorry, this is 4, pardon my 4. Okay, so that's equals to 7 for the owner. And then because the permission is same for all of them, so the owner, the group, and others is going to be 7 7 7. So when you see something like this, UGO plus ROWS, and you see something like this, UGO plus 7 7 7, change mode and change mode, you should know that it is the same thing. They are giving the same permission. That means the user, the owner, the group, and others have all permissions granted. If you see 777, okay. So, sorry. Question number 2 in the comment section. I want you to tell me what this denotes. If you see this 5, 1, and 3, what does this denote for the user, for the group, and for others? What does this denote? If you see 5, 1, and 3, what does this denote? Please put it in the comment section. I want to be sure that you are followed up to this point. Okay, I want to be sure that you are followed up to this point. Now, there's also something called A that I've not mentioned. Okay, so rather than saying UGO, you can simply just say A plus read, write, and execute. So this is also saying you are giving it to all, like a wildcard. You are giving permission to all. A plus 7 7 7. Okay, it's like saying you are giving permission to all. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how to work with this. Okay, so now you can also just give this permission with the Octal notation by just saying change mode and then just say 5 1 3, rather than saying change mode UGO 513. Okay, you can just say change mode 513. So the Linux distribution already understand that this is for the group owner, this is for the file owner, this is for the group owner, and this is for others. So without using this, simply you can use this and it will work perfectly for you. Okay, so let's see all this in action now. Let's see all this in action. So I am going to pick a new sandbox. Okay, let me pick a new sandbox. And let me just cd to ls. Okay, so ls-l. Okay, so you see that for this file we have this. So I'm going to create a new file. So let me create a new file. I will just use the touch command to create a new file and say touch, and let's call this okay, so ls-l. So let's see what I have. So our file have read and write for the owner, only read for group, and then read for others. Let's change the permission of our file, of this file permissions. Let's change it. So we're going to say chmod. So we are going to just change the permission for the owner and say u. We want to add the execute permission, u plus s. Okay, u plus s for the owner. So the u is for owner, remember, and then x is for execute, that is absent, and enter. So if we check this file again, the file should have execute permission for the owner. So you see there's execute permission there now for the owner. So let's change mode again, chmod, and for this let's say we are giving the group let's give the group write and execute permission. Okay, so that would be g plus write and execute, and then the name of the file, and enter. So let's check again and see. Okay, so here you see we have given the group write and execute permission. Okay, so now let's say we want to give everybody full permission to this file using the Octal notation. So we just say chmod and we'll say 777, such that the others will also have all the permission now, and then we'll give the name of the file, enter. So if we check our file now, we should have all permissions granted. So you see, so like I say, you can either use the Octal notation or you can use the regular notation, and that will still work. Now let's say we want to remove permission from all. We want to remove all the permission. Okay, so we can say change mode, and then we're going to say ugo minus row and s, and enter. Okay, let's see that it didn't work. So let's say ug. Okay, let's just remove change mode. Was that correct? Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, it was correct, but we didn't add a file name. Space permission. Yes, we didn't add a file name. So ls-l, enter. So now you see that we've removed permission from everybody, and then the file is without permission to anybody. Now let's use the ugo equals rows and permission, which is the file name. Okay, we didn't include that change mode, so chmod, so ug equals read, write and execute, comma, let's do this, o plus read only. Okay, so o, so for others we'll give them read only, for owner and group will give them all the permission. Instead of using 0, sorry, sorry, so this is where error is coming from. Yep, so instead of using 0 I use which is for others. So enter. So ls-l Okay, so now you see that we've given others only the read permission, and the rest we give them read, write, and execute permission. So you can go like I said, so you can also tweak it by saying chmod, and then you use the 7, 5, and 2. 7, 5, and 2 plus file name. So what will this give? 7 will give the owner all the permission, read, write, and execute permission. 5 will give the group read and execute permission. Read and execute permission, because read is 4, read is 4, write is 2, execute is 1. So 4 plus 1, which is read 4, because this is 5, so read is 4, then execute is 1, so that is 5. So it's going to be read and execute permission for group, and then 2 for others. So 2 is write, so that will be only write, and then read and execute will be absent. So let's enter, and then let's see our file. Okay, so now you see that we have for permission, so 7 is read, write, and execute. Okay, 5 is read and execute, and then for 2 is only the write permission. Okay, so this is how you can play around with your permission. Okay, to give permission to people, for people, you know, and then to others, groups, and all that. So we also have other commands that you can use with all this. Okay, we have commands like change owner, which is CHOWN for change owner. Okay, so you can change owner from this person to this person. So change owner, then you put the name of the person you want to change owner to. Okay, so let's say you want to change owner from your file. You already have the file, so all you need to do is to put change owner, and then put the name of the person you want to change ownership to. For instance, if you are changing, the person's name is Betty, you can say change owner to Betty, and then you put the permission, the file name. So this will now change owner from your file to, from being your file to being Betty's file. And remember, it's no longer your file, so you don't have permission to do anything with this file, except the owner will give you access to this file again to probably execute. Okay, and then you can also change group. So change group, you can change group and say, okay, I want to change the group, which is CHGRP. Okay, so you can also change group from one group to the other. So you give the name and then the file name, you know, and then the next command I want us to know is the SU. So SU is to become a temporal super user. Okay, so you want to become a temporal super user, you can use the SU command. So you type SU before any command to become a temporal super user. So as a super user, you have access to the being of the system, which is not always what I advise people, that no need to go to the super, because whatever you delete from there will affect your operating system. So most times there's no need of, you know, going to your root. Okay, so but you can just say SU, and then you give the permission you want. So that's, now when you type SU and type any command, they're going to ask you for the system password. Enter the password, and then you're able to work as a super user from that time. So you can either use SU or you can use sudo. You know, they work the same way. Sudo or SU, they work the same way. Okay, now I think we've come to the end of this video. Like I said, I'm going to put the answers to all the questions to you know, in the description of this video. So there's going to be a Google link. Click on the link and you get all the answers. And like I say, for each question, you start first. Your first line is going to be the share bang, and after that you can put in the answer, the correct answer, and then of course make sure you change mode to make it executable. chmod u+s and push commit. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this video. If you find this video helpful, kindly leave a comment, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and then click that notification button, because we're going to be dropping videos that will help you try to stay in ALS. All right, thank you, God bless you.